won't pop hip-hop, wanna see the common in me. And since it's a senseless contradiction, I end up a misfit trying to fit in.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of From Average Joe to Golf Pro, the video series where we take 3 golfers, 3 different skill levels with 3 different goals and see how we progress through a time period, which is going to be this winter. So if you were this first time you are joining us, my name is Pete Sands. I'm general manager here at Cherokee Ridge. I have Rob Taylor, our head golf professional, right below me. And to the left of me, it is our high handicap Heath Wooten and Wooten, Heath Wooten, Heath Wooten. And yeah, we're episode 3. So episode 1 was kind of an introduction. Episode 2 was focusing on some of my golfing flaws and swing flaws that Rob has been helping me with. And basically the progression of what this video series is we kind of give you guys updates on how we're doing each week. And last week was really focused on me, but guys, how was your week this week? You guys had a pretty good week, and I mean, we had some rainy weather. I know Rob and I were able to hit the course a little bit that we'll talk about here in a second, but Heath, you having a good week?
Yeah, having a good week. Got out to play a couple times, and then a lot more time spent on the range, and same focuses, just posture was the main one. And I've been hitting the ball better than I was, when we first started. So yeah, it was a good week.
Good. And we'll Rob actually played in a little event ski over this past week, but Rob, me and you got out there before that, and you talked me into playing a round of golf and taking money off of a guy going through a swing change, which, I mean, I want to know, were you able to sleep the rest of the week after that? I mean, you had to have felt bad about taking advantage of me and not being able to put food on my children's plates.
No. I have 2 kids, so I have no problem stealing monies from people for kid feeding.
Yeah. I told him, I was like, I think I just need to go to the range today. And you were like, no, man, you gotta hit the course. You gotta grind
That's
it
right.
out. And I knew it was gonna be ugly, and it was. So but Rob and I got out there, and the first 2 holes were okay. I mean, I started par, but like I think any change in swing, eventually your body tries to go back to old bad habits. And I went through a rough stretch of, I would say, 7 holes. I slowly started bringing it back towards the end, but there was a middle stretch of 7 holes that was not pretty. And I guess that's to be expected, though, right, Rob?
That is correct. Sorry, I had to unmute there. Yeah, it's always tough when you get out on the golf course and you're thinking one thing, but your body's still geared towards another thing. So it can you made some good swings. There's always that you do it a couple times and you hit some good ones, but then there's those ones where you're in between 2 swings and it can be a struggle. So understandably so, it was difficult, but you still you'd still need to get out there and try and miss those good swings and start stacking more of them on top of each other.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, just, golfing logic, my best swing of the day was the drive on 18, which made me want to come back and play again. But
That was
hopefully we figured something out. And then after that, we actually did a little stretching session. Rob was showing me some stretching techniques and different kind of stretches, and I don't want to call them exercises, but different things I could do to kind of help build my flexibility in the golf swing we're trying to establish for me. And hopefully that will give me some actually feelings of the golf swing as well. So like that stretch that basically is, kind of getting to my right side and then shifting my weight over to my left side properly. Now I need to try to emulate that throughout the golf swing, and hopefully that will show progression and be able to get out there, and start adapting that a little bit maybe even this afternoon. It's kind of nice out right now that I might even get out and hit a little bit. But Rob, you played in a little event this week, and a little pressure, couple of practice sessions, and played some golf with me. You were pretty active. How'd the event go down in Birmingham?
I was fine. As I think earlier, I was going through some driver changes. So I tried doing a little adjustment on it and made some swings last week. And actually, we had talked about me taking your driver down there and actually using that, but I took mine. And aside from the driver, which was kind of all over the place, I didn't hit the ball too bad. It was just kind of an end of the year wrap up. The PGA guys play a little dogfight points, like quota points game, with a little steak lunch afterward, and kind of an appreciation thing for us bringing members out to those pro member events and hosting them. So, but I had 4 birdies and just 4 birdies, 4 bogeys. It was kind of one of those get a couple, give a couple back rounds. But I hit some good shots. Short game was actually really good. I've been working on the short game and have some keys, like some feels that are working pretty well. 2 for 2 on sand saves, which is always good. 1 was for birdie, 1 was for par. Putted it well. I actually putted it better than my stats probably say. I hit a lot of really good putts and a couple lip outs, a couple edges, and made a couple decent ones. So overall, it's pretty good, except for the driver. I would say
No, and you think that's
was above average. Driver was below average. Irons were kind of right there in the middle.
and you think that's because it is equipment issue at this point, right? Like you feel like the golf swings there, the driver you just currently have is not adapting to your current swing.
Yes.
And it probably sends you backwards if you try to adapt to that club rather than just fixing the club, right?
Right. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. It's different swing weight than the other clubs. It's heavier. When I got kind of fitted for that one, the shaft, it was good, but they kind of put too much weight on it. So I'm making some adjustments with the one I have right now, but I got another one coming with a different shaft and try and make it match up more with what I'm trying to do.
And we actually
but
went out to the range, you and I, and I just basically took the video. I wasn't giving you any pointers, but we actually have some video so you can kind of let people know what you're working on, maybe. So I'm hoping you guys can see this. Can you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see.
And actually, now that I think about it, I did go out and didn't play a 4-round, but I got 9 holes in with Rob. I can't remember exactly what day. It was earlier in the week. That was kind of the same thing that he had given me some pointers here and there, and I didn't score well, but I mean, Rob, I had a few good shots in there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Both of you guys in your rounds, I mean, there was some good swings in there, and there was some kind of in between swings. But if you don't go out there and get on the course and see where it's going to go, then you're never going to get used to it, because you can do it as many times as you want on the range, but the second you got to, line up to hit one in the fairway or something, it's a little different. So
I'm hoping you guys see this is from, kind of down the line a little bit. Is that the one you're seeing? You see the movement?
Down the line, yep.
Yeah, okay. So walk us through this a little bit, Rob. Are you liking what you see here? I mean, I know when I took it, you kind of gave a little like, "Ooh, that was pretty good."
Well, yeah, so the takeaway is fine. Setup's not bad. I'm looking at this one right now. I tend to get shut. Like my hip line, I feel like is a little bit shut, which is kind of bringing that club back again around. If I could draw on there, I would show you, but more the club pointing more out to the right instead of more down the target line. And I kind of constantly work on, but other than that, I've tried to stop myself from kind of riding too far with the arms. Feel like I'm in a little better position there. Still work in progress. I would like to see the hands a little more in front of my chest and that right arm a little bit more connected.
Well,
And
and you
but
can
other
just
than
tell
that,
the transition to start down, where if you remember last week we were looking at mine that had that little hitch, like there it is like straight down. Like that's pretty ideal, I would say, right?
yeah, it's pretty good. But the one thing that I don't do a great job of is starting to kind of shallow it. So it comes straight down, but it's coming straight down from a high position. So like a lot of those guys, like Justin Thomas is a good example of somebody who's good at getting high hands and getting the club back shallowed and on plane where you're not getting too steep. And I have a tendency to just kind of get too steep. But as you come down, it's better. It's in a better position coming down on the downswing here. If you start it down. So here's where I'm fighting right now. So right there, that's when I start to, that right hip starts to kind of travel forward. Same thing we talk about with you. And then if you go down like another frame or two, so by this time right here, my right foot's starting to kind of leave the ground, and I haven't quite got the hands past that right side yet. So I get a little bit stuck right there and catch up to it. But not bad overall. The path is actually better. So instead of kind of working over it too much, I'm actually coming from inside and then turning down better. So I hit the ball pretty solid that day. Overall, it definitely looks better, but still obviously some things I'm working on.
Now, is there something to be said that you can't get through on your left side because of the lip cookie pouch in your right pocket? Is that weighing you down at all?
Now that is actually um Altoids.
Oh, is it?
No,
Okay.
not Altoids.
Not Altoids.
Uh
Lifesavers.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Lifesaver cookies. No.
And then
Those are my quit dipping pouches.
oh, okay. Well, good for you.
My quit dipping Zen pouches.
And then we'll move to, we actually had and we'll do this fairly quickly on this.
Yeah, we can get quick on
have
the front. Face on one.
Face on one. You guys see that now?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So this might be able to show you getting.
Yeah, this is where you can kind of see better for me. Like, there's my transition, the weight shifting over to the left side. But as I get closer to the ball on the way down, you can see I go from that position to, release and impact. The shaft is pretty straight up and down there at impact. I would like to see more shaft lean. So at that point right there, I would much rather see the club be directly under my hands instead of already kicking out, because that would mean I'm kind of inside compressing it better, and that's my little mini flip right there because I get a little stuck. So able to kind of work it, play with it, but it's not ideal. So things change, then that can change. But other than that, it's not too terrible. It's not too bad.
Yeah, so and that's, I mean, that kind of just shows you even the progression of the three of us. I mean, even someone of your caliber can sit there and, I mean, you can nitpick swings probably till you're blue in the face. And I mean, that's the cool thing about golf is, I mean, you'll never be perfect. Like no one's ever going to shoot 18 out there. So like
That's right.
you seek perfection and you seek, progress, but you will, as long as you continue to make your goals a little bigger and bigger and bigger, there's always something to work on. But
I always thought it was funny listening to Tiger talk about like his golf swing, and you watch it on video and it's hard to pick anything out like when he was in his prime, but you hear him talk about his swing and he talks like he's an 18 handicap. Yeah, I got this little mini flip here and getting too far to the left, and the way he talks about his swing always used to crack me up because he was by far the best player in the world, still so nitpicky about little things in his swing or feels that he had that were different. So, you got to be that way if you want to get really good, I guess,
Yeah, I mean, the second you get complacent is the second that you start moving backwards, because status quo is not good for anything that when you're trying to make progress. So, but yeah, I mean, I think you were able to play in that event that was kind of your last one of the year, and then you gear up for 2024, and we're catching a little breaks in the weather. I mean, it hasn't been too brutally cold, so we're
Come
you'll
on,
have some
it's the
time
weather's fine.
well, that's
The
because you're
weather's
used
fine.
to
It's not
playing
that
next to
bad.
Moose in Alaska. But yeah, I mean, you like as we've said from the get-go, I mean, your progress is going to be a little different than Heath's and I's, because it is going to be more of the detail stuff than the swing overhaul. But I mean, I think moving into 2024, you'll you got some things to work on, but I think you probably are fairly happy with where your game's at right now.
Yeah, I mean, this year, as far as practice goes, it didn't really do much. I played more. I played more events than I have in several years, so that was nice to get out and compete. And the competitive side of it brings out kind of the best in my game, I think, because everything's just there's a lot more focus, a lot more attention when you're playing for some coin, or in an event. So it kind of brings out the best in me, and it makes me want to get better. So like yesterday, after playing that round, it wasn't awful. I shot even par. I had 4 birdies. I could have definitely played better, but I can't be too unhappy with it, considering going through some changes and been working out a little differently lately and doing things a little differently. So to go out there and still be able to get it around even par was good. I felt like that was a success, and gave me some things to work on.
Yeah, and so we'll move over to Heath over there, which is a little bit of a drastic difference between what we just watched. But I looked at the video, like when you sent it to me, and I think this is gonna be Rob's first time looking at this one. But I mean, and this kind of shows the guy that like a Rob and me. Like, I look at your golf swing, Heath, and I'm like, you shouldn't shoot 100. Like it's not that bad. Like, I mean, you get yourself in some good positions. And
Well, and that's what Rob has talked to me about. I mean, since the first time he's ever seen me swing, is just biggest problem is alignment and course management. It's just, yeah, I mean, I know I have the ability to shoot low. It's just whether or not I can be smart enough to do it.
Yeah, and I mean, just the future. Let's I don't like angle wise. Like, this is for Heath and I. But when we record these videos, Rob, like, do you want them? What kind of angles do you want them at?
So obviously the 2 best angles to kind of see what you're working with are directly down the line, meaning behind the club head. So you can see the lines: shoulder line, hip line, foot line, where the club's aiming, down the target line. And then face on is always good too.
So not in
you can
between.
you can look at things from a million angles and see different things. Like, this is actually good because you can see his front. You'll be able to see his front shoulder working. You'll be able to see kind of his hip turn. This is not a bad angle, to be honest with you. You're not going to see as much with the club face. Like, you're not going to be able to tell how over the top or underneath it or things like that he is, and what positionally where the club is on the way down. But you can see his shoulder turn there. He's getting that left shoulder underneath his chin.
I mean, I'm looking at decent
You can see
load. It
his
looks
hip
like he's
turn.
loading on that right side pretty well.
Yeah. Here's a big thing for Heath, though, that him and I will work on is there's a lot. See how much space and disconnect there is with that right arm on the way back, how far his elbow is basically from his side.
Mm-hmm.
there's that disconnect right there. That's a big high backswing, but that disconnect right there. Now on the way down, that elbow has to come back into the side, and it's just a lot of added movement. So you can see he kind of gets late getting it back down there. He's still not there. Now he's getting there, but he's late. So here he comes. He's going to start moving up. You can see his head and everything start to move up as the club goes down. Otherwise, he's going to plant the club in the ground behind the ball. So he's making an active adjustment there. So what I'd let him do, I don't know, Heath, if we talked about this, Pete, I think we did, about keeping that tilt and letting your backside basically work more. Not away from the ball necessarily, but against the wall behind you,
Yeah.
so that you can
And
get the club working back in front of you and give yourself space to swing, so you don't have to raise up to give yourself
Yeah, I
room
mean, you
to
can
get the
tell
club
when I
out.
move it like this, like you could tell just the height angle that is changing throughout his golf swing. If
Mhm.
that makes sense saying it that way.
Yeah, he's changing levels. So you're going from a good setup position, kind of raising up, then dropping down, then having to raise back up. You can see big time right there towards impact. And then the finish is a big high backswing, big high finish, club and arms way, way up there high. So for Heath, gonna be a lot of work on kind of controlling that backswing a little bit, getting it more connected, those forearms a little more connected, and not get it so the hands quite so high and disconnected with the right arm. And that will give him more time to get the club back around.
Now, is there anything to be said? Let's see if I can get to that position again. Need that thing to go away.
So that's actually a good spot. You got it in right
Yeah.
there, because you can
There
see
you go.
Heath is different from me in that if he would keep his spine tilt right there, his hips work okay because his right foot is still kind of grounded there. He's not coming off his backside nearly as much. And you were working on that, right, Heath?
Yeah, that's been kind of like one of my main things, just with my actual swing and posture. And then also you were saying, so in my backswing, you're talking keeping my right elbow closer to my body. Is that what you were saying?
Yes. Instead of getting the arms kind of extended and way up here over your head like this, more connected this way. You can't really see me, but more shoulder turn and less arm turn, like less arms going up and more shoulders rotating behind.
And would that would be a
The hands
distance
out
that
here in
would
front of your
cause
chest.
distance issues as well too. If you're getting too armsy in your swing, I would assume. Like I was
Well,
always taught, like, if you can make a swing like a rubber band and like really tighten it, it's gonna basically come through the zone with some speed, where it's just like flopping around, there's not going to be any kind of speed going through the zone. Would that cause distance issues? Basically, this like taking his arms and not having him connected to the body like that.
well, I mean, it depends on if you can get that arm back basically in the slot, right? So if you can get way up there, and then in this transition, if he can get his arms back connected before he starts basically rotating out of the way, there's hypothetically could probably hit it further if he's using the ground better and not raising up. But for the sake of Heath's goals, he needs to be more consistent. So we need to make it easier, not harder, to get the club back out in front of him. And having so much height to the backswing, arms so high, just makes it harder to consistently get it back down to the bottom.
And I know standing up has been, like, in my mind, my biggest issue from day one is as soon as I start bringing that club down, I can feel myself stand up every time. And it just, for whatever reason, I can't put it in my mind to stop doing that. And I want to stand up every single time I swing a club.
I think it's just a natural
Pete and I-
reaction.
Yeah, and Pete and I did a good drill that relates to that when we were doing our exercises in there, Pete, the stretching and stuff. Is that drill where you're holding the club out in front of you and you're swinging underneath that club?
Mhm.
That forces your backside to work away from you. and the arms then can swing underneath that club instead of if you raise up, it brings that shaft close to you, and then your arm cannot pass it. Remember that exercise we did? So that's another one Heath could do too. That would help with maintaining that spine tilt and not raising up so much. And then obviously stretch.
Stretch,
The 90
stretch,
90
and
90
more
stretches.
stretch.
Yeah. Hip
Now,
flexors,
Heath, do you remember if that ball went out
abdominals.
to the right, or is that just the angle we're looking at?
I think it's just the angle because majority of these did go pretty straight, maybe just like a hair to the right, but there was no like major slices or horrible pushes or anything like that.
Yeah,
You
would
can
that
see there, he's already
that
through the
club
ball,
face
but
is
see where
open a little bit?
the club face is open. So that tells me it was probably hit off the toe.
Okay.
If it went straight, it was probably off the toe and it kicked that face back open. If it went straight, then it was probably off the toe.
Yep. All right. So there was Heath. Well, yeah, I mean, there's some good
Heath.
insight on some golf swings and some things we can work on. And I know we were supposed to have the Santa's Little Helper tournament last Saturday, but it got rained out. So we plan on doing that this Saturday. So hopefully we'll next week we'll have some updates on that, and all three of us are playing, I believe, correct?
Yeah, we're all playing going into it. Do you guys have any early goals for the tournament? Do you guys have any like goal scores or anything like that?
No, I mean, when I played this past week with Rob, it was I mean, I'll be blunt, I shot 87, and it was wasn't not too happy. So that let's get less than that. Let's get let's get let's get less than that. I need to figure out a way. And it was an 87. I don't feel like I putted bad. So usually, like, if I'm in that mid 80 range, just because I've had a couple stupid 3 putts, and but it was very much lawn chair golf swing that was causing the 87, rather than going out there striking it well and just not scoring well. So hopefully, for my partner's sake, this Saturday it's better than 87. I'll put it that way.
And to your question, Heath, my goals are I'm going to do my very best to play conservatively and play the golf course how it should be played this time of year. I have a big tendency when we get in quota games to do some silly stuff, pull that driver out, and try and make 2 on 1 and 4, and hit driver on 6 and get it down the hill. And I think I'm gonna try and play the golf course how it should be played and keep it out of the leaves.
Do
And,
you plan on emptying my Venmo account like you did this past week?
well, it depends on if we have a little match ski going. Do we have a match ski?
You know me by now that
We
it's
could
hard
do
for
over
me to play golf.
points.
It's hard for me to play golf without some sort of bet ski.
Yeah, there's got to be
So
something.
there's got to be something.
But
Figure it out.
I'm happy with my team. I think I got a good partner in Mr. Zippy.
Okay, so there's
Maybe
He's been giving me a hard time lately, but he did a very nice gesture for me yesterday, so I appreciate that, partner.
your partner is probably one of the best putters I've ever actually played with. I mean, his reads greens better than anyone else I know.
Don't give him a big head.
yeah, it's already
Yeah.
he reads these greens very well. So, but all right, well,
Want to keep him grounded for this weekend.
I think we got a good wrap on week 3 of From Average Joe to Golf Pro, and I feel like I'm probably, out of the 3 of us, the farthest behind right now. So I got some catching up to do, some work. But hopefully this week there'll be that little light switch that helps me through the round of golf, because I don't know if I can handle another 87 mentally.
Yeah, let's get out there right now. We got some time.
All right. Well, everybody have a great week. Remember to like us on all the social pages, follow us, all that good stuff. Thanks, Shrixon, again for being our partner in this. And we'll see you next week for another episode from Average Joe to Golf Pro.
Sounds good.
Mama wants some Obama in me. The hood won't pop, hip hop wanna see the common in me. And since it's a senseless contradiction, I end up a misfit trying to